The Lady from Zagreb is the 10th in the Bernie Gunther series, written by Phillip Kerr. And these, ironically, take place in Nazi Germany, where Bernie Gunther solves single murders in a country where murder is happening on a genocidal scale. So this particular book follows a tale of him trying to find a leading actress's missing father in an effort to convince her to star in one of Joseph Goebbels' propaganda films. And along the way, there's also a couple of other murders that he has to solve, which makes for a nice little web of intrigue and really develops a good mystery feel for the story. Bernie himself is not really a sympathetic character. Before the war, he was a policeman, investigated murders, and had a particularly high-profile one that he solved, which does come into play in this book through flashbacks. But once the Nazis came into power, he, although was not a Nazi, did become a part of the SA and perpetrated some of these war crimes and was complicit in them. He has since moved on from that and is back to solving crime, is back on the police force, which, again, is odd because they're solving these single crimes and murders when it's happening on a large scale elsewhere in the country and occupied territories. So he ends up not being really a sympathetic character because he's complicit in these war crimes and moves in high-ranking Nazi circles, and yet also does do some tongue-in-cheek comments to these Nazi officials because he himself is not one and somehow can get away with saying these things. And you can tell that he does think it's despicable and horrific, the things that are happening, but has also taken part in them. So it's weird. It's hard to say, like how you should feel about him, because on the one hand, he's complicit, but on the other, he is condemning them. It's a very odd feel, definitely a unique main character. So if you don't mind some conflict in your main characters, especially if you're looking for a really good mystery story, this might be a good place to start. He's also misogynistic and kind of creepy in how he talks to women throughout the story and makes references to them. So if you can get past that as well, to just enjoy the murder mystery part of the series, which is really well written, it moves pretty quick, and again, having those different storylines tied in there does help to keep it moving and keep you on your toes and guessing till the very end, who actually committed the crimes and the murders. So if you can just focus on that aspect, get past his macabre sense of humor, his conflicted personal story and personal morals, and kind of despicable personal story and personal morals, you might enjoy this book. The writing style, again, it's fast-paced, it moves quickly, there is some witty dialogue along the way, but the setting is unique, leads to some conflict for the reader internally, and the main character is also conflicted, and it's hard to know how to feel about him. But if you don't necessarily care about the character-driven aspects of things and are just looking for a really good whodunit sort of mystery, Bernie Gunther's novels might be for you. Again, this is the 10th in the series, so there's actually more that come after this that have been published since, but I would recommend starting with the first one before tackling the 10th, just because it might help you get a better feel for Bernie Gunther himself and better understand sort of what brought him to the point he's at in this story, fill in some of that backlog that we don't necessarily get starting in the middle of the series. So a good mystery tale, good crime novel, if you don't mind the character flaws throughout and the moral dilemmas and contradictions. So again, The Lady from Zagreb by Phillip Kerr. It's the 10th in the Bernie Gunther series. If you're looking for a novel where you can just focus on the crime aspects and sort of block out the character aspects, this might be one for you.